Arcfra Kubernetes Engine, aka 1.4.0, brings powerful enhancements in operations and maintenance. This demo uses a typical application as an example to showcase how the visual YAML deployment feature of Arcfra Kubernetes Engine, aka, can accelerate application rollout and enhance the overall Kubernetes experience. Leveraging the console and O&M capabilities, it also simplifies configuration management and troubleshooting, significantly improving operational efficiency. The demo application adopts a microservices architecture consisting of 6 core modules, with their interaction relationships illustrated in the diagram. Before the demo begins, we've prepared the necessary Kubernetes YAML files. Next, we'll walk through the deployment and management process. An AKE workload cluster is already set up. First, let's check the status of applications in the workload cluster. As shown, there are no workloads under the MySQL, NACOs, apps, or namespaces. We'll now proceed to deploy MySQL. Click the Import YAML button, then click Choose File. Choose the prepared MySQL YAML file and click Open. The UI allows for checking the syntax and format of the YAML file. Next, specify the target namespace for deploying the MySQL application. Select MySQL, then click Import. The YAML file includes 3 Kubernetes resources: service, stateful set, and config map. All 3 resources have been successfully imported into the MySQL namespace, with the change type marked as create, meaning these resources were newly created from scratch. Now, close the window and return to the workload view. You'll see that the MySQL application is in the process of being created. Please wait a moment for the deployment to complete. Now MySQL is running successfully. You can click into the MySQL pod details page to view more information. Next, we'll deploy NACOs. Before deploying, MySQL requires initialization tasks such as database creation and table setup. These tasks can be done directly within the MySQL container using the pod console feature provided by AKE. When launched, the pod console appears at the bottom of the screen, and its size can be adjusted by dragging for better display. Then, we'll demonstrate how to initialize the MySQL database directly within the pod console. Start by connecting to the local database. Once the connection is done, we can proceed with creating the database. Afterward, create the necessary tables by copying the provided commands into the console terminal and executing them. All commands have been successfully completed. You may now close or minimize the console. When minimized, the console's previous running status remains accessible via the Unfold button. Additionally, you can click full screen to better view the execution history. A new console window can also be opened for continued use, and all previously executed commands will still be visible here. At this point, the MySQL deployment and initialization, including database and table creation, are complete. We'll now proceed to deploy NACOs. Click Import YAML, select the NACOs folder and click Upload. You can now review the syntax and formatting of the uploaded YAML files in the UI. Choose Namespace. Deploy it to the NACOs namespace. Click Import. The platform has now successfully deployed 4 NACOs-related Kubernetes resources: a stateful set, a config map, and 2 services. All of these resources are marked with the change type Create. Click Close and wait for the NACOs containers to be created. You can check the exposed node port address via the corresponding service and access the NACOs dashboard directly through it. Now the NACOs access is available. With both MySQL and NACOs running properly, we can proceed to deploy the application. This follows the same steps as before. Click Import YAML at any place. We've already prepared 4 YAML files for the microservices, all stored in a unified apps directory. By selecting this folder, we can import all Kubernetes resources related to the application at once, enabling a one-click rapid deployment. The advantage of this approach is that even if resources such as deployment, service, and config map are distributed across multiple files and directories, you can still consolidate and deploy them all at once by importing the entire directory. This significantly simplifies the deployment workflow and accelerates application rollout. Now, select the folder to upload the local directory, then click Upload. In the UI, you can review the uploaded resources. This set includes 4 deployments and 2 services. After validation, choose a namespace, in this case, Apps, to deploy the resources, then click Import to complete the process. The platform has successfully imported 6 Kubernetes resources, 4 deployments and 2 services, into the Apps namespace, all marked with the change type Create. If any errors or issues arise during import, you can go back, correct the YAML files, and re-import them. Since no modifications were made during this demo, the change type remains unchanged. Finally, close the window and check the current status of the application deployment. These 4 microservices are all deployed using deployment controllers. Click on Deployment. We can see that all 4 services are now up and running. One of the microservices, front-end, is exposed via node port, allowing us to access the application. Before the access, we can check in NACOs whether the corresponding microservice addresses have been successfully registered. Navigate to NACOs and open the service list. We can confirm that the related microservices have been successfully registered. This enables mutual communication between applications, as they can retrieve peer addresses from NACOs for service interaction. We can now access the service via node port and confirm that it is functioning properly. Let's create a book entry and retrieve its rating. Then create another one, retrieve its rating again, and delete the previously created entry. All of these interactions function as expected, indicating that the deployment is complete. In addition to checking the status of deployment-related resources in the UI, you can also click the Cluster Console button, which opens a terminal at the bottom of the interface. This Cluster Console allows you to query the status of Kubernetes resources via command line. Besides the Cluster Console, a node-level console is also available. You can minimize the Cluster Console and click on any pod. For example, the front-end microservices deployment has one replica, which we can select. If we want to see which Kubernetes node this pod replica is running on, we can identify its host node in the UI. To further inspect node details such as node status, images, kubelet, and container-related PID processes, we can open the node console. Inside, we can execute Linux commands such as psef, check the kubelet status, review kubelet logs, and finally, view the image information on the current node. That's all of our demo. Here's a quick recap. We deployed a microservices-based business system including MySQL, NACOs, and 4 services. All Kubernetes resource files were pre-prepared locally. Using AKE's YAML import feature, we quickly brought everything online. With the built-in console, we configured the MySQL database and debugged pod efficiently. Beyond the UI, the Cluster Console provided full lifecycle management of Kubernetes resources. We also demonstrated how to access the node console from a pod to run OS-level commands, like checking process IDs and kubelet status. Thanks for watching. You can contact Arcfra sales representatives to try out the new features. Explore more about AKE on arcfra.com.